everyone, Theodore Burns here for week 7 of my IndyPro2000 walkthrough series. Sorry for the late video this week, had the Daytona 24-hour over the weekend, which I'm sure a lot of you guys were doing, and then had some internet issues yesterday, but we're still before the strength field, so better late than never is what I say. This week started with the iRacing baseline setup, made a couple changes to it, found a little bit of time, got down to a 25.0 pace. Could hold that for the first 10 laps here in the run. So with that, I'll play through my fast lap and walk through how to get ourselves around Phoenix Legacy, or Freenix, as the guys like to call it. Without further ado, here's the hot lap. Alright, pretty straightforward. Due to the new oval changes, this track is now easily flat out. It used to be you needed maybe a little lift, especially into turn 1, maybe a little breathe in 3, 4, because it would get a little sketchy, but with these new changes, this is pretty easily flat. Like, I'm not even thinking about lifting around here. So that's just kind of a general note, some changes. Not quite sure how that'll race, if that'll make it better or worse racing than in years and seasons past, but I guess we'll find out this week. First off, my approach through turns 1 and 2. Starting nice wide entry, and I'm able to turn in. I want to turn in pretty late and almost kind of make this feel like a 90-degree corner. I'm not trying to find an arc. I'm trying to find what I would consider like an apex down here. I want to get all the way down to the yellow line, not below it. And it's about halfway through the corner. It's kind of hard to pick out from this view here, but there's almost kind of like the yellow line, it's almost kind of like pointed off in a couple spots. I'm going to pick this kind of like second point over here as my quote apex for turns 1 and 2. So it's kind of like a late turn in into here. If you come in a little bit early, you don't end up getting the rotation by the time we get to this kind of second point right here that I'm aiming for. So I want to make sure to get that late turn in so that I come down here and I get the car fully rotated. I'm basically perpendicular at this apex point. I want to make sure to keep very smooth on the steering. I don't want to be sawing on it, scrubbing any speed. I want to turn in, get down to the apex, and then start to through 1 and 2 here, keep the steering in it, but I don't want to be adding more, especially more than I need, because I'll just scrub the tires, scrub off a lot of speed. So on exit here, we will end up getting pretty close to the wall here. When following someone, it's pretty easy to understeer and get into the wall. So if you do need to lift, you want to make sure you do it early so you don't hurt your run out of the corner. But on the way out, it's just managing the steering, letting the car naturally track out, trying not to cut cut it down and scrub too much speed off, and just let it naturally track out. So kind of the natural progression through the corner here that I'm kind of looking for is I'll probably end up tracking out just past this light here. If I'm coming out to the wall and I'm starting to run into the wall as I'm like at this light, that means I'm not getting enough rotation done mid corner, and so I'm coming a bit wide here on exit, and I'm having to turn usually a little bit too aggressively close to the wall, and that's going to hurt my run out of the corner. Also, maybe means I'm the setup is understeering a little bit too much. I don't want to be, getting to the wall prior to this light here and running out of track. I want to be, naturally just past that on my way out of turns 1 and 2. And with that, once I track out, then I'm going to keep a nice, very straight, just kind of follow the natural turn of the car down to the little, dog leg here, where the dog leg is on the modern track, and just clip that curb and just keep it as straight as possible through there, not trying to turn down or get down low and make the corner just as little steering input as possible. Don't want to scrub any speed off that I need to. So with that, we can watch that one more time, real speed from the chase camera. All right, so there's turns 1, 2. Now 3, 4. This one, especially in seasons past, may have needed it. You could usually take it flat depending on your downforce level. May need a little, feathering of the throttle. This season, it's feeling, very easy flat. I think 1, 2 is, maybe less so in a draft, but I think 3, 4 should remain pretty easy flat in all conditions. With that, 3, 4, it's a very long corner and it is much less banking than 1, 2. So it's much flatter. And I would really want to try and find an arc through here. So this is very light on the steering, get down to the yellow line. Don't want to really go below it. If I do, it'll unload the car, cause it to become unstable, and just find this nice arc through and try and get my eyes up and look out down the straight so that I can start to unwind the hands as soon as possible. I'm basically just staying in the nice dark patch of the track here. There are a couple bumps in the second half of the corner there. I was trying to let my hands and the wheel kind of glide over those. So that's any shaking you might see in the wheel. Otherwise, I'm trying to keep a nice and consistent steering angle and not force it. So I'm basically just letting the car kind of move as it needs over the bumps and keep that arc consistent to not upset the tires, the contact patch, the slip angle through the corner, keep the grip, not scrub the tires any more than I need to, and track out. If you can usually pinch this off just a little bit, it may save you a little bit of time on exit, but sacrifice your run a little bit to the line, like in a qualifying run. You may want to come off a little bit, maybe mid-track and try and carry that to the line. But otherwise, it's pretty safe to go out here, take the wide line, and just not scrub it off too much. So yeah, pretty straightforward, especially when it's easy flat out. There's not a whole lot else to do. It mainly just comes down to the setup and your comfortableness, and how stable the rear end of the setup is, and its ability to steer, not understeer, in a draft. And that's basically what it's going to come down to this week. So yeah, like I said, with this, it's pretty consistent. Able to run a couple, 25.01s in these conditions. Forgot to go over conditions, but it's pretty standard. I actually ran this one at 50% track usage, minimal wind, 21, 22C. So that's kind of where we're at, and yeah, can run pretty consistently in the 25.0 range, which I think is going to be pretty competitive this week from the initial couple races I've seen. But yeah, wanted to make sure I got you guys this week 7 video. Again, sorry for being late. Should be back on schedule for next week, week 8. And yeah, so this is the second oval of the season, of 3 actually, because we have one more coming up, the community choice. Yeah, so with that, good luck. I'll see you guys out there on track.